Okay, let's have another game. So 2097. Maybe I should have actually played the Leningrad. Actually, come think about it. Maybe quick B5 here though, liberating the position a bit. So hopefully, I know E5. Now, trying to get a bind on the D4 square. Okay. B6. I wonder if I can get away with A5 here. Trying to bind or stop B4 from white. Trying to stop white liberating the game. So F6. Well, I have weakened my light squares a bit. If this bishop ever got exchanged, it's going to be tricky. But on the other hand, if white lets you play A4, I wonder if B5 is justified, or is this diagonal going to be ripped open after knight E3? On the other hand, bishop B3 then might be possible. Knight takes and bishop B3. Okay. A4 does seem tempting here. I think I'll go for it. E4. B5, is this hyper aggressive? If I play B5, just trying to get on these light squares now. So knight D4. Knight D4 provokes E3, and I'm not really sure. Maybe Queen B7. Let's see what white's doing here. Or even Rook B8. So I've got a kind of nice little bind going. Maybe Rook C8 to try and play Knight D4 when possible. Okay, Knight D4 now though, and Knight B3 seems to be a very nice way of celebrating these light squares and this sort of bind on the B3 square. Yeah, I think the opponent's getting a little bit positionally in trouble. This looks like kind of a dominating position. I don't want to simplify it in a hurry. Maybe B4 is worth considering actually here. Does it give away too many squares, or? I'm not sure. B4. Okay, now finally our castle. Now I've got control of the pawn on C3. I want at H6 and F5 where that knight on E4 is going to go. So this could be positionally embarrassing for white. It's not careful. I'm going to play F5, just trapping the knight on E4. No, it seems as though white's played this very passively. F5 knight D2 though. Can I just put more pressure on that C2 knight though? Maybe Queen C7 here. Queen C7. So straight away threatening Queen takes C2. If knight E3, maybe taking on E3 is good. That would support the knight on B3 with the bishop on E6. I think this is like a positional crush, really, overall. The opponent's so passive. But, okay, what do I do about that? Should I just take, I wonder, and then A3? So the pawn is getting very dangerous. Maybe the way to increase advantage is this outside pawn. And coming in via Queen C2 might be useful in conjunction with that. Also, I think F5, Knight D2, I've got Knight C3 to win the E2 pawn. So that's a pretty useful idea as well. In fact, I can play that here, I think, F5. Because Knight D2, Knight C3, attacking the Queen. So Knight takes E2 could be handy. Taking the bishop. I think I'll first take on e2 and then do something about this bishop. So what should I do about it? Maybe just back to f7. So if I can play a2, there's even more pressure with that pawn. I think also f4 is interesting. There's a lot of interesting moves here. I don't know. A2, is that too ambitious? Rook A8? No. Sure. Actually, maybe, I don't know. Bishop F6. No, I'm losing the A3 pawn. But here, E4 is playable, so I'll go for that. E4, trying to undermine and be able to play this A2. So the pawn can't take because the queen takes knight. So if the knight moves, then I've got my support for the move A2 coming up. I wonder, I've also got bishop H4 actually, and bishop G3 potentially. In fact, that might be a useful resource here. Bishop takes H4, but then knight B5, queen E5. Yeah, I think that weakens the king position. But it's got takes and then on my knight, so I don't know. So here, where do I want to move that knight? I don't know, maybe D4 actually. D4. Because then that sort of is a threat of knight B3 in some lines. So I managed to lose my A pawn though, but on the other hand the attack certainly switched to the king side. Maybe F4 will be quite good to try and weaken this G3 square. So here, threatening bishop F. So I wonder, bishop G5. Bishop G5 has the advantage. I might be opening up the H file with some advantage. Or am I messing this up a little bit? Don't know. No, it's taking a long time here. Okay, so I'll take. He's going to play Rook C1. He's going to give me a problem with the two rooks against the queen. Okay, here. I want a Queen C4. Oh, no. Let me just knight takes B5. Actually, I've got Bishop C4 here, winning the exchange. That's a useful move. Then I might want to play F4, I think, to block this bishop in and further weaken G3. I'll take that. And I think I'll just play F4. So for the moment, E5 is starting to look difficult. Maybe, I don't know, F3? Bishop H3 though. I don't really want to give too much counterplay this bishop D5. But F3, but it's bishop H3. But then rook, I think rook C E8 is not a big deal. So that E6 square. Okay. And here, Queen F7 might be good. Mind you, E6, I got Queen E7. Queen E7. Right, now can I try and use the H4 with Rook F6? Or, yeah, I think Rook F6. Alright, okay, it was just too short on time anyway, so let's have a quick look at that in overview and summary. So I liberated the position and got, pardon me, let's go back, got a sort of bind in the centre with this E5. And now, you know, white is weakening the light square, so I was like playing on that now. With this A4, B5. As long as I wasn't dropping any pieces quite clearly, this looks to be a comfortable, very, very comfortable position. And now I'm sort of just threatening F5, so it's really kind of No, white position's not really that secure tactically here. This past a pawn, I managed to lose it after this knight c4. Maybe this is a mistake what I played. Which was e4. Mind you, it did provide bishop takes h4. So I've swapped my a pawn for white's h pawn. So maybe it's not that bad. So knight d4. I think it's still probably worse for white here, possibly. So this, I don't know, maybe it's a little bit controversial, but on the other hand, white ends up losing the exchange now after that knight d5. And this isn't so hard to parry the threat, just blocking the pawn. Well, if bishop takes f3, I think just doubling up rooks and then rook f2. Hope you enjoyed that. Please leave any comments or questions on YouTube. Thanks so much.